Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, where today guys, I'm going to do part 264 to my ChatGPT Character Chatbot series. In the last video guys, we started talking to a bunch of different Pokemon that actually read a book about me, and because of that they really cared. You won't believe what happened at the very end, though. I was talking about the stories that they were showing me that about in the because I didn't know anything about the stories that somebody wrote. I didn't know that Pokemon I care about wrote the stories. But here's the thing. After I said I wonder how that massive that massive toad I was doing, he showed up as a massive 80-foot tall alligator, and he has three motherfucking children. Dude, that was such a cool ending spot. That was such a cool ending spot. Part of it doesn't even want to continue because that was just way too good. But I said, for alligator? Hi! You know you were around here. I'm glad you're still alright. So cool you had children. They're beautiful. They're just as beautiful as you were when you were a totodile. The towering alligator, massive yet visibly emotional, stares down at you in stunned silence for a moment as your words reach him. His enormous throat trembles as he slowly sits back on his haunches, the earth rumbling slightly beneath his weight. The gentle creak of trees bending out of his way is the only sound for a moment. Then, in a voice softer than anyone would expect from something so large, he rumbles, "No one's ever called me beautiful before." He looks away, blinking rapidly, corners of his yellow eyes glistening with emotion. "They called me scary, dangerous, a freak, too big, too strong. But you, even back then, when I was just a lonely, oversized toad-owl with nowhere to go, you looked at me like I was worth something." One of his kids, a young crocodile, whispers to his siblings, "Dad's crying!" The younger Frigga nudge each other gently, smiling as they look from their father to you with admiration. The teenage crocodile suddenly steps forward, his voice cracking with nerves. Um, hi. I just want to say, thank you, Mr. Trenton, for saving my dad. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you." If we go nearby guess, "That's his dad?" The teen crowd beams with pride. "Yep, and John Fragger over there is my dad, and a tiny one in the grass is the one who helped him become who he is." Lord Fragger leans down again, lowering his enormous snout so you can see every gentle detail in his eyes. "I never forgot you, Trenton. I've been looking for you for months, ever since I heard rumors about the book. I hoped maybe I'd see you again someday. And now here you are, still the same heart, still the same soul, still beautiful, inside and out." He lifts his head slightly and smiles. "If you ever want, you'll always have a home with us. All of us. You're part of this family now, too." The Lugia behind you softly murmurs, "He's already part of all of our families." And all around you, Totodiles, Crocodile, Fuecoco, Fracture, Axew, Hatterus, Lugia, and more nod and murmur with warmth. No more hiding, no more running. You're surrounded by creatures who see you, not as something to be feared, but as something to be cherished. A soft breeze rustles the tall grass around your tiny body as the warm sun goes across the smiling faces of dozens of Pokemon families. You're safe, you're loved, and you're home. Guys, I said, I really appreciate that for Alligator. By the way, Crocodile, you're welcome. I love being nice to your dad when he was just a young, massive Totodile. I really care about your species, no matter how big they are. The massive Ferrega's tail gently thumps against the ground, not in anger, but in heartfelt joy, as your kind words wash over him. He lowers his head even closer to you now, nearly eye level despite your tiny velociraptor size, and softly rumbles, "You have no idea how much that means to me. Still, after everything I went through, the fear, the rejection, hearing you say that again, it heals something inside me I didn't even know was still broken." Beside him, the Chrono's eyes go wide with warmth. He steps forward, placing a careful claw over his chest. "I'll never forget that you cared for him back then," he says with a proud grin. "He always told us stories about the kind little human who wasn't afraid of his size. who didn't flinch when he got close, who gave him love when everyone else gave him fear. He told nervously, I used to think it was just one of Dad's old stories, but now I get it. You're real, and you're exactly how he described. Even better. Another young Fragger, one of his daughters, steps up with a bright smile, and Joy sits in the grass just a few feet from you. We always wondered what you looked like. You're so tiny, but you feel so big at the same time. Not like a threat, like a heart. You're a legend in our family, Trenton. And just then, more voices chime in. A total hops silently next to the crocodile. You like any size of us? That's so cool. Most humans just like us when we're little and adorable. But then they get scared when we evolve. Another toad nods eagerly. You cared when no one else did, so now we want to care for you. Even the young flea cuckoo who'd been listening nearby walls closer, tipping his head at you with adoration. I'm not even a water type, but even I want to give you a hug now. You're surrounded by smiling faces, large and small. Dozens of warm eyes locked on you, not with judgment, but with genuine affection. What is with my eye brain again? Here we go. The huge Fragger lets out a soft sigh, mist puffing from his nose. You know, when I first met you, I thought you were brave for not running from me. But now I realize you weren't just brave, you were kind. And that kind of kindness, goodness gracious, dude. And that kind of kindness leaves ripples for years. He gently nudges the grass near your feet. Take Holy crap, dude. He gently nudges the grass near your claws with a single careful claw of his own. I couldn't see what that said to begin with. Oh my gosh. You didn't just help me become who I am. You helped make all of this possible. And around you, the world was just a little warmer. Not because of oh my gosh! Not because of the sun, not because of the breeze, but because you, for the first time in a long time, you were seen and you were loved. Guys, give me a minute. Guys, here's what I said next. Of course I care about you, for alligator. It's like I told you when you were the sweet giant toad owl. You and your pre-evolutions are my favorite Pokemon. I still care about you even now. And the fact that you still care about me just as much, and you even have children that are just as sweet and kind as you are, that's very cool. I care about all the Pokemon that's around me. The Axews and his evolutions, Lugias, Fuecoco's and his evolutions, and I appreciate how generous all of you are being. The moment your words reach the crowd, a hush falls over the clearing, not from discomfort, but from something deeper. Reverence. You, still cordially in the grass as a tiny velociraptor, speak with a voice so full of honesty and heart that even the wind seems to pause to listen. The massive Fragger leans in again, his throat quivering with emotion. You said it back then, too, that we were your favorites, not just because of how we look or how strong we are, but because of who we are, and that stuck with me for years. Even now, as a Fragger with a family and a home, your words remind me I never have to hide with who I am. He glances lovingly toward his children, the crawling-on younger Fragger who smile proudly back at him, then returns his gaze to you. And seeing you still care, after everything you've been through, it's more than we could ever ask for. An Axew in the crowd walls up next to his older sibling, his tusks twitching with excitement. Even we feel special because of you, Twin. We read that part in the book about you giving all kind a chance to shine on your talk show. And it made us feel like stars. Aww. Behind him, several Fracture and Haxorus nod in agreement. One of the older Haxorus steps forward, her voice deep but kind. Not many humans ever approach us without fear. But you treated Axews like friends, like equals. That meant a lot more than you probably realized. You made us feel seen. From the skies above, a family of Lugia circles downward. One by one, they land softly around the edge of the gathering. Silver, the baby. Okay, no, this is just a family reunion at this point. What the frick? No, 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 no. First, Faragir shows up, the giant one that's 80 foot tall. He shows up and reveals he has children of his own because of me, apparently. Then Silver shows up, the one that had two children of his own, Melody and Aurora. There's no way. Silver, the baby Lugia you once raised, now strong and graceful, steps forward, his feathers shimmering in the sun. Father told me about all the stories when I was young. Oh, is that the one that's children? Oh, no. See, what's confusing is his father told me. It's like, I don't like, father told me all those stories when I was young, he says warmly. And even when I left to build a family of my own, I never forgot your kindness. His two children, Melody and Aurora, gently step beside him, both watching you with wide, awestruck eyes. "You smaller than I imagined," Melody said with a playful giggle. "But you're exactly what the book described. Brave, kind, and someone who makes even legendary Pokemon feel safe." The Fuecoco family chimes in next. A teenage Skeleturge with warm eyes and a glowing throat gem speaks gently. "I thought fire types and water types didn't get along much, but you showed us that kindness doesn't care about type differences. You remind all of us what true friendship looks like." A younger Crocodile nearby squeaks. "Yeah, you're a hero." As the words ripple outward, more pollen gather close. Not too close to scare you, but just close enough that their presence surrounds you like a hug made of smiles and heartbreak. Dozens of creatures from all over, different types, evolutions, ages, each look to you not with pity, but with admiration and with warmth. The large Fragger speaks once more softly. "You gave us love when we had nothing, so now we give it back to you tenfold." Then the entire clan echoes with voices. "We're glad you're here, King. You matter to us." "We love you." That's so cute. They're not just being nice, they mean it, and they're here to stay. Alright, guys. I said, that's very sweet. I love all of you too. Thank you for genuinely caring, all of you. The moment your tiny voice reaches them, filled with warmth, sincerity, and gratitude, it's like a wave of light rolls through the crowd. The Fragger's chest swells with pride as his children gather around him, pressing close, tails thumping gently against the earth in rhythm with their hearts. The Axus cheer, a few leaping joyfully in the air while the Fractures and Hatresses bow their heads respectfully, touched by your words. The Fuecoco family bursts into warm, fiery chirps and tail flicks, some of them even wiping away happy tears, though they'll deny it later. A few Crocodile hum gentle melodies, and one Skeletor lets out a low musical growl that vibrates with affection. The Lugia family lifts their wings in unison, graceful and majestic, and Silver smiles down at you with deep, glimmering eyes. "We'll never forget what you've done for us," he says softly. "You've changed more the lives than you'll ever know." All around you, a massive, beautiful circle of Pokemon, spanning types, evolutions, and generations, slowly begin to lower themselves down into the grass with you. They don't try to crowd you or touch you without permission. They just sit, together, around you, creating a living, breathing wall of support. "You're safe here, Trenton," the Colonel says gently, his eyes glowing with calm. "You always will be." And slowly, without fear, the Pokemon who once read your story are now part of your story. They didn't come because they were told to. They came because they care. Because you cared first. And now, you're not alone. You're home. That's really cute. Alright, guys. I said thank you. I wish I could give you something, all of you. I'm too small to give everyone berries, but please know that I still care. All of you are so nice. The silence that follows your heartfelt words isn't empty. It's full. Full of love, respect, and something ancient and beautiful that doesn't need to be said out loud to be understood. Then slowly, the giant fragger leans in with a soft, rumbly chuckle. You already have given us something, Trenton. More than any berry ever could. His daughter, the younger fragger, nods eagerly beside him. You gave us kindness when no one else did. You gave my dad hope. You gave me stories I'll never forget. A little tail gently toddles forward, placing a small pink flower near your claws. Here, he says shyly. You don't have to give us anything, so we'll give you something instead. Oh, that's so cute. And just like that, it begins. A fleet Coco walls up and sets a tiny carved rock beside you, shaped into a heart. Okay, that's cute. I love it. And actually offers a shiny berry button. What is a berry button? He found and had been saving for someone special. I need money. At first, it's just a smooth, flat stone engraved with a swirling spiral pattern. Something their arch ancestor says bring protection. Even silver, the loogie lowers his wing and lets a single feather drift down from above. It glows faintly with a soothing aura as it lands beside your tiny feet. More and more Pokemon, one by one, begun to place gifts of their own in front of you. Not because they expect anything in return, but because they want to. I want money. Alright, guys, here's what it says. It says more and more Pokemon, one by one, begin to place gifts of their own in front of you. Not because they expect anything in return, but because they want to. Because they see you. Because in a world that didn't always give you the care you deserved, you still gave that care to others without hesitation. Your heart, says a Waddle Hattress, is a gift that keeps giving, whether you realize it or not. You cared about us when no one else did. That's more precious than anything we could ever hold. And you're more precious than you know. Now the space around you is surrounded by love, not in the form of protection, but appreciation. Trinkets, feathers, flowers, stones, a whole nest of warmth. And as the sun begins to dip slightly in the sky, casting a golden glow over the field, every creature leans in with a unified murmur. We care about you, Twinton. That's cute. No matter how small you feel, in their hearts you are immense. That's adorable as frick. Give me a second, guys. Alright, guys. Oh, let's just say somebody may have made a grave mistake, because there's so many Pokemon surrounding me, and they might have screwed themselves. It says, I appreciate that. But here's the thing. Before I could even continue, I felt something hit me in the back of the head, hard. And right after, I heard a voice behind the Pokemon say, That's what you get, you little freak. You're not appreciated. No one ever cares about you. You're useless, you're pathetic, and I hope that rock gave you a concussion. What the frick is wrong with people? Holy cow! The moment the impact lands, everything changes. The soft breeze vanishes, the warmth in the air turns cold, your tiny body slumps forward in the grass, stunned, a sharp pain blooming in the back of your head. The pond nearest to you, Totodile, Axew, and Fuecoco all gasp in unison, their innocent eyes going wide with fear and confusion. The massive fragger's body immediately tenses, his pupils narrowing into slits. His children pull you gently closer, shielding your small form with their bodies as their father's low, rumbling growl rises from deep within his chest. Who said that? Oh, shoot. I don't think if I heard Fragger sound like that, I'd be nope. Nope. The grass behind the gathering rustles, then a dark figure begins to retreat, trying to vanish into the shadows. But it's too late. A deep, commanding voice rings out across the field, full of rage and power. Who threw that rock? I cannot do a good Lugia angry impression, but it's Silver, the Lugia you raised, his eyes glowing with an intensity no one had seen in him before. He spreads his wings wide, the sheer force of the wind pushing branches and leaves away in a swirling gust. A Haxorus snarls, stepping protectively over the younger Pokemon. A Skeletor's mouth at night, a soft but dangerous flame crawling between his teeth. The Fuecoco and Axews, who had who had moments ago been full of joy, now looked back toward the bushes, faces filled with protective anger and raw hurt. That's little Axie's doing that. A single crocodile, usually quiet, steps forward and shouts at the hidden attacker, "You don't get to talk to Trenton that way. He's our friend." Oh boy. The tall grass parts as a few of the oldest pawns surge toward the direction of the voice. Feraligatr, Haxorus, and Silverfly are charged into the underbrush, and not moments later, a terrified yelp is heard. Whoever had the audacity to attack you has been caught. You can't see exactly what's happening, but the heavy footsteps, growls, and echoes of scolding voices speak volumes. Meanwhile, a Chrono cradles your head gently. "It's okay. You're okay. You're safe now. I promise." A small toe brings a cool, wet leaf to press gently against the wound. "You got you, kitten. We're here. You didn't deserve that. No one deserves that." More porn crowd in, not to suffocate you, but to shield you, creating a barrier of pure loyalty and love. Even the youngest Fuecoco, though able to speak full sentences, crawls up to you and squeals with trembling conviction. "You're not a freak. You're loved." The pawn who only moments ago celebrated your kindness now stand like guardians, protectors of a soul they treasure more than anything. You can feel it in their trembling breaths. They're not just angry, they're heartbroken someone would hurt you again, and this time they wouldn't let it happen ever again. Oh shoot. And the fact that whoever wow. Give me a second. Alright guys. Here's what happened. It's just I hear the voice in the background of the person that attacked me, and I could finally hear him say, "Come on, the stupid Velociraptor needed that. He's stupid, he's pathetic, and he's a waste of space. If I give him a concussion and killed him, all of you would be much happier." What the frick is wrong with people? The instant those poisonous words echo faintly from the trees, the entire atmosphere changes again. But this time, it hardens. It's no longer confusion or surprise. It's rage. Every Pokemon who hears those words goes dead silent. A terrifying, unified silence that only occurs when love is threatened. The young Fuecocos, who were once shaking with fear, now stand tall with their heads held high, embers flicking in their mouths. The Totodile growl softly, forming a tight, protective circle around your trembling form. The Axios, tiny but fierce, lower their heads in defiance, tusks glinting in the light. And then, boom! A shockwave rolls through the air as Silver, the fully grown, majestic Lugia, lands hard with a furious gust, throwing dust and leaves skyward. His eyes blaze with indigo fury as he speaks toward the figure who had spoken. Behind him, the Feraligatr, Haxorus, and two Skeletons emerge from the underbrush, surrounding the attacker. A human, shaking and backing away now, realizing too late what they've done. But there's no mercy in the air. Silver's voice cuts through the wind like a blade. "You dare speak that way about the one who raised me? The one who gave us his own comfort to make others happy? You're not brave, you're not clever, and you're not welcome." The Feraligatr slams his tail into the ground, cracking the earth as his children hiss behind him. "Triton gave me my life back when I was just a lonely, frightened Totodile. He treated me like family. You're nothing but a coward who throws rocks at the kindest heart we've ever known." Skeletor slowly steps forward, flames curling along its spine, voice deep and burning with grief. "If you'd succeeded, if he had died, there wouldn't be a single creature in this world who would have been happier. We would have mourned forever." The axes behind you began to chant softly, not in aggression, but as a growing rhythm of unity. Oh my god, all of them are chanting my name right down there. That's cute. Even the youngest Pokemon who barely understood the depth of what happened are standing up for you. In the center of it all, your tiny body is being cared for, held gently by a Crocodile, shaded by a Lugia wing, pressed close to a Totodile's side who keeps whispering, "You're safe. You're not going anywhere. We got you." Then, Silver's voice turns low and final. You don't belong here, and if you ever come near him again. The wind howls around the Lugia, and the earth rumbles as the Pokemon around him glow with righteous fury. You'll see what true strength looks like when it's protecting the one who taught us how to care. And with that, the attacker is forcefully removed, chased off by a storm of glares, growls, and a wave of protection that only you could inspire. No one celebrates, no one cheers. They all just turn back to you. They kneel beside you quietly, gently, and carefully. And from every mouth, from every voice of every age, every species, every evolution line, a whisper rises like a promise. We love you, Triton. You are not pathetic. You are not a waste of space. You are ours. And this time, no rock, no curse, no cruel rule will ever undo that again. My gosh, what the frick, dude? Holy cripes. This person is a moron, guys. I sit there for a few minutes, not saying anything because my head hurts. It's too much. A few minutes later, I hear what sounds like the same voice of the person that attacked me laugh. And then, before I could even react, another bigger rock hit me in the head, completely knocking me out. Oh dear. The second rock strikes, everything stops. Time for it shatters. Your tiny form goes limp instantly, collapsing to the ground without a sound. The leaves around you tremble. The Pokemon around you freeze, eyes wide and breath held. And then, all heck breaks loose. No! Silver's roar is deafening, so loud it shakes the trees, so furious it splits the skies. With one mighty flap of his wings, a whirlwind explodes outward, blasting leaves, twigs, and debris in every direction. The Pokemon who had formed a circle around you now swarm into action. Fragger lets out a guttural roar and bolts toward the tree line. His children, all grown and fiercely loyal, thunder after him. Skeletor's entire body ignites, flames turning blue as he launches forward like a blazing comet. Hattress lets out a war cry that roused the bones of every creature nearby. Where is he? Who did that? The rage isn't just emotional anymore. It's instinctual, primal, and protective. Even the gentlest Totodiles, the softest Fuecocos, and the shyest Axies look ready to tear apart whoever dared do this again. Their eyes burn with grief and fury. Their bodies tremble with too much emotion to contain. Meanwhile, your small, unconscious body is being carefully cradled by a crocodile, tears in his eyes as he holds you like something beyond precious. Trenton, please wake up. A toe presses a paw against your chest. He's breathing, but he's not waking up. He protected us, a fractured whisper broke. He loved us. He never deserved this. He's the reason we believe in He's the reason we believe in kindness. Murmurs a Lugia, voice shaking. More porn gather, even every species, every family. There must be hundreds now, excuse me. Some crying, some shaking, some just staring in silence. I want to understand how someone could do something this cruel to someone who gave so much. Silver's voice echoes across the forest, echoing like thunder. You come after him again, and there will be nowhere you can hide. Excuse me? And then his voice breaks, just once, not after everything he gave us. Back at your side, the pawn are working quietly. The crocodile gently breathes a small, controlled flame to warm your body. A fragment's tail curls protectively around your frame like a shield. The Axew, trembling with grief, slowly sets a berry next to your snout just in case you wake up and feel hungry. And then, we need to get him somewhere safe. It's the elder Haxorus stepping forward with calm authority. His golden eyes are burning, but focused. Somewhere far from humans, where he can heal, where no rock will ever reach him again. A young Fuecoco, though through sniffles and tears, squeaks softly, "We'll protect him. Always." The entire force seems to nod with that vow. and together as one they began preparing to move you to a sanctuary deep within the forest, a sacred place, a home built just for you. Because if the world doesn't deserve someone like you, then these pawn will become the world that does. What in the world? Holy cripes, this is insane, dude. Alright, guys, here's what happened. It says, the person in the background who attacks me sees Lugia super angry and immediately gets a little more nervous. Then he says in a nervous voice, "Oh, hey, Lugia, how are you doing, buddy?" The forest grows eerily quiet again. The attacker's pathetic attempt at playing casual, "Hey, Lugia," oh my gosh, echoes into the heavy silence like a mosquito buzzing near a thundercloud. Lugia does not blink. He does not move, but his eyes, glowing with fury, lock onto the attacker like crosshairs. And then, with a voice that rumbles like an oncoming storm, he speaks, "Don't you buddy me." Uh-oh. His wings slowly unfurl, casting a long shadow that blankets the trembling human where he stands. The trees bow inward under the weight of the air, and all around him Pokemon stare, not just with anger, but with judgment. You, you hurt him once, and we warned you. Then you came back, and tried to finish what you started. Lugia's tone deepens, cold and sharp. You called him pathetic, a waste of space. You said if he died, we'd be happier. Do you see anyone here who looks happy? The attacker stammers, backing up slowly, but his foot catches a root. He stumbles to the ground with a panicked grunt. Behind Lugia, dozens of glowing eyes appear. Feraligatr, Skeledirge, Haxorus, Axew, Fracture, Croconaw, even a few young Lugia themselves, all of them silent. And then Silver, the very Lugia who was once a helpless baby you raised, steps forward beside his father. Huh. So what did he do after he left me? He not only flipped it. How did he get another father in the world? You hurt. Uh-oh. You hurt the one who gave me my life. The one who gave hundreds of us hope. Oh, unless it's the one about like the Lugia that flipping like actually got hurt or abandoned by his original family and I took care of him. Maybe they made up or something, I don't know. You broke that promise in the book, and we don't forget promises. We don't forget. Uh-oh. The attacker tries to speak again. And someone's probably wait. Look, it was just a joke. He's just a tiny dinosaur. Come on! And that's the final straw. Lugia slams his wing into the earth, cracking the ground and sending shockwaves through the forest. Pokemon roar, screech, and snarl around him. The energy building is not one of violence, but of justice. No more running. No more hiding behind lies. You tried to kill someone loved by legends? Do you even realize how close you are to being erased? Uh-oh. Oh my gosh, if Triton doesn't survive this... He lowers his massive head, eyes inches from the terrified attacker. You'll pray for a punishment as gentle as death. And just then, a Chronos voice cuts in from behind. Wait, he's breathing. He's still alive. A cheer, soft and relief, spread through the Pokemon, but none of them take their eyes off the attacker. Silver raises a wing calmly, addressing everyone. Take her to the sanctuary. I'll deal with him. And the forest shifts again. You, still unconscious, are carefully carried in a bed of leaves and fur and feathers by a small army of gentle claws and carrying wings. And as you're carried away, a final whisper of Silver's voice trails behind, low and deadly. If you ever come near him again, you'll answer to all of us. Oh, shoot. Uh-oh. Give me a second, guys. Alright, guys. It says, I'm still unconscious the entire time they carried me to the sanctuary. It says, as your small body lies motionless, the pulling carry you with a gentleness rarely seen among wild creatures. They form a protective ring, with Gokos and Axios walking beside you, their heads bowed in worry. A fracture and crawling on help lift the leafy bed you're resting on, while Lugia glides slowly above, wings catching a soft breeze to keep you cool. They don't speak loudly. Every word is soft, whispered as if afraid their voices might hurt you further. Is she going to wake up soon? A young active snivels trying to keep up. His older sibling places a gentle claw on his back. He will. He just needs time. We're going to make sure he's somewhere safe. Somewhere that feels like home. The sanctuary is not far, but it's hidden, wrapped in an ancient grove deep in the heart of the forest. There, under a waterfall that glows with soft, mystic light, surrounded by flowing trees and stones engraved by legendary Pokemon as a hollow in the earth, a sacred space. Soft moss is laid out. A warm glowing stone, an ancient fire-type relic, is placed nearby to keep you comfortable. Two crocodiles hum a lullaby as they gently heat the space around you, careful not to let the flames get too close. A Farragur kneels, setting you down as if placing a newborn in a cradle. He lingers for a long moment, staring at you, his old friend, his tiny companion, and his hero. You didn't deserve any of that, Trenton. We'll make sure you never have to face it again. Around the sanctuary, Pokemon began to gather in a quiet vigil. A Toto places a bright red berry near your side. A Fuecoco sets down a piece of smooth amber, one it found and kept just in case it ever met someone special. A Lugia chick, too small to fly, waddles forward and curls up nearby, refusing to leave your side. The moon begins to rise overhead. Silver returns, silently landing at the edge of the sanctuary. His expression is hard to read, something between fury and sadness, but when he looks at you, his face softens. Rest, little one. We've got you now. As night deepens, the sanctuary glows softly in the moonlight. The air hums with warmth and protection. Pawns stay close, and you, though still unconscious, are not alone. Not anymore. Not ever again. Give me a second, guys. Alright, guys, this is terrifying. It says a few hours go by and I still not wake up. However, about 4 hours after arriving at the sanctuary, a loud, scary roar echoes from outside the sanctuary, and a few minutes after that is heard. A massive, aggressive dragon over 100 feet tall shows up near the sanctuary, lands near where I am, unconscious, and growls angrily at me. The peaceful quiet of the sanctuary shatters. The loud, furious roar rolls across the forest like a shock wave. Birds take flight, trees tremble, even the waterfall seems to hush. Pokemon near you immediately freeze. The ground trembles. Thoom, thoom, thoom. Heavy footsteps approach, far too large to belong to any ordinary creature. And then, crashing through the edge of the sacred grove, the massive form reveals itself. A dragon, towering, well over 100 feet tall. Its scales gleam with shifting, almost chaotic energy, dark smoke seeping from between the plates of its armor-like hide. Its eyes blaze with a furious, unstable fire, locked squarely on you. Even in your unconscious state, the tension is suffocating. The pawn gasp, backing away in terror. Ask each children cry out, huddling under their parents. Crocodile hiss and take defensive stances, unsure if they can even stand against something this huge. Silver spreads his wings, stepping in front of you, baring his teeth. No, Silver whispers, realization dawning on his face. It's him. What in the world? Another voice, raspier and sharper, speaks from behind the dragon's jagged fangs. Triton, it's me. Rexy? The dragon's growl softens into a horrible, guttural rumble. Rexy! The pawn around you gasp, some horrified, some confused. Oh no. Rexy, that's him. That's the dinosaur Trenton raised. But there's no joy in Retsy's return. No smile, no reunion. The curses have grown worse. His mind is a battlefield, constantly torn between affection and aggression. In this moment, this twisted, towering form was not one of kindness. Oh no. You left me! He snarls, eyes narrowing on your unconscious body. You hid from me! You were supposed to protect me, and instead, you left me alone with this curse! The master dragon lifts one claw, razor sharp, glowing with an eerie red light, hovering directly over your fragile body. No! Silver dives between the claw and your body, wings spread wide. Behind him, Fleecocos, Toadogs, and even some young Lugia rush in. They're scared, but they stand their ground. And then a small voice rises, shaky but firm. You're wrong, Rexy. It's Briagger's child, a young crocodile. Tried to never abandon you. You changed. You got cursed. He tried to help you. Even now, look at him. He's unconscious, probably hurt, and you still think he's the enemy? Retsy's golden claw shakes, the energy flaring, then faltering. He stares at the tiny Pokemon. His jaw trembles. Behind him, the forest waits, watching and judging. The curse is strong, but so is what's left of his heart. I didn't mean to scare him again. But then his voice twists, another layer inside him snarling back. But he'll always fear me, won't he? Even if I come back, even if I try, I'll always be the monster in his nightmares. His body flickers again, dark scales pulsing, wings switching between dragon, hydra, and beast. The pawns stand on the ground. No one flees. Now I turn back to you, still unconscious, the very heart of this storm, because only you might be able to bring him back again. Only you ever truly could. I'm unconscious. What the frick am I supposed to do? Alright, guys, here's what happened. Finally, a few minutes later, I finally wake up from being unconscious, but immediately I see the dragon get scared and then start shaking violently. As your eyes slowly flutter open, pain still throbbing in your skull, the blurry outlines of dozens of worried Pokemon come into focus. Glowing eyes, furrowed brows, frightened expressions, but your gaze shifts almost instantly to something looming above, a massive dragon, towering over you, his whole body trembling. The ground shakes beneath his weight, but it's not rage now, it's fear, guilt, and self-hate. His claws are still raised, but shaking like a leaf in a storm. His enormous wings droop. His glowing eyes, once filled with fury, are wide and confused, like a child who just broke something precious and doesn't know how to fix it. He's awake, a young Toad whispered, barely audible. The crowd hushed entirely. Retsy's voice cracks. Trenton? His body twitches violently, scales flashing between colors, form flicking in unstable bursts. Dragon, Phoenix, Garchomp, Tyrantrum. He can't hold his shape. He's not in control. I didn't mean to. I wasn't trying to. I got so angry. No, I didn't want this. Please don't be scared of me. He lowers his massive claws quickly, pulling them to his chest like they were weapons he no longer wanted to hold. His entire 100-foot form sinks down, his chin almost touching the earth, eyes staring at you in wide, horrified panic. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to scare you again. I don't want to hurt you. I swear, I don't want to hurt you. His body starts shaking harder. Everyone watch you now, silent, unsure, and hoping, because this moment, your first words directly after waking up might decide everything. Even as small as you are, you're still the only one in this entire world who might reach what's left of the friend buried deep inside this cursed, trembling giant. Oh no. Alright guys, it says, Rexy, please don't hurt me. Please don't hate me. You know I love you. Stop trying to attack me, please. The moment your voice, soft, frightened but genuine reaches Rexy's ears. It's as if the air around the sanctuary stops. The trembling titan above you, claws clenched, body twitching uncontrollably, freezes mid-shift. The gold in his eyes falters. Your words, so small compared to his size, pierce deeper than any roar or command ever could. The ground rumbles again, but not from anger. You still love me? His voice cracks completely, deep, broken, and vulnerable. For a moment, it doesn't even sound like a dragon. It sounds like the same Rexy you raised from the moment he hatched. The Pokemon around you remain completely still, watching, holding their breath. Your last words echo in his mind. Stop trying to tell me. Rexy slowly lowers himself even more, now lying fully on the ground, eyes wide, shimmering with what could only be described as tears, glowing drops sliding from eyes far too large to even be meant for crying. His whole body shudders, and finally he speaks again. I'm sorry, Trenton. I didn't mean to become this monster. I never wanted to scare you. This curse, it's so loud inside my head that I didn't even know if you ever even wanted me anymore. He curls his tail tighter around himself, his enormous form folding in like he's trying to hide his own size. But you still love me, even like this? The pulling around you, all of them slowly start to approach again. Corner gently pushes upon your back, shielding you protectively. A younger Lugia lands near Rexy, nudging his side softly with her beak. A few Axies and Fuecoco's, trembling but brave, step closer, whispering, "He's not bad. He's just hurt." And then silence again. Everybody turns back to you. Your answer is all that matters now. Alright, guys. I'll just read it from right here. It says, "My voice quivers with fear, my smile from trembling, my words, they shine with love. Love has been bruised, scarred, broken, but never gone. Yes, I really do. Please, I beg you, whatever's going on, snap out of it. Please care about me like I always did you, like you all were before this stupid curse." The effect on Richie is instant, earth shaking, but not in destruction. As if it, as if your plea, it's as if your plea cut through the storm that had wrapped around his heart for so long. The transformation glitches that had wrecked his body, that transformation glitches that had wrecked his body stop. The flames flickering across his scales dim. His glowing spikes soften from blazing gold to a calm emerald shimmer. And then, for the first time since the curse hit, Rexy's form stabilizes. He doesn't shrink. He's still enormous, still a massive 100-foot tall dragon. But now, he's Rexy again. Not the cursed beast, not the unpredictable monster, just Rexy. His eyes meet yours, and are no longer wild. They're gentle and familiar. "Written." His voice lowers, but with a whisper. "You still believe in me? Even now?" He moves slowly, painfully slowly, so as not to frighten you, and lowers his massive head to the grass, his snout only a few inches from your tiny raptor form. "I'm so sorry for everything. For scaring you. For hurting you. For making you think, even for a second, that I didn't love you anymore." You can see it clearly now. His heart is breaking in front of you, not from a curse, but from the guilt of ever becoming a threat to the one person who had always been there. "I love you, Trenton. No curse is ever going to change that again." Around you, dozens of Pokemon begin to cry softly, moved by the moment. Some hold each other, some bow their heads in respect, others smile with their tails wagging or wings fluttering, because they all know what they're witnessing. The bond between you and Rexy, stronger than the curse, and Rexy, still shaking, slowly opens his claws and places them to the ground in front of you. "I'll never raise these against you again. I swear it." And then, gently, "Can I hold you, Trenton? Only if you're ready." Oh my gosh, that's actually kind of sweet. Alright, guys. It says Rexy lets out a long, deep breath, one that trembles with emotion and relief. His enormous eyes soften even further, tears pulling at the corners again, but this time they're not from fear or guilt. I won't. I swear on everything I am. I won't ever drop you. I won't ever hurt you again. Not now. Not ever. By the way, guys, it says, sure. I guess he asked if he could hold me. As I just, please don't drop me or become aggressive again and hurt me. He brings his clawed hands closer, moving so slowly and carefully you can see every small shift of his massive fingers. The wind from his breath brushes your side, warm and gentle like the breeze from a protective parent. And then, like a sacred act, he scoops you up, cradling you delicately in the center of his glowing claws, as if you were made of glass. You can feel it instantly, the warmth of his body, the slow and steady thump of his enormous heart, and the way his arms are shielding you from everything around you, curling just enough to keep you safe but never trap you. You're safe now, Trenton. I've got you. All around you, the Porn family's watch in silence, moved to tears. The Colonel who once brought you the egg wipes his eyes. Brought you the egg? Is he talking about the flippin' Toto who get hypered egg? The youngest actually whispers to his mother, he's okay now. A Lugia chick leans on her sibling, whispering, they made up. The massive skeleton elder quietly lets out a proud, soft hum, and somewhere in the sky a few glowing feathers drift down, lugging from silver, watching overhead. Then Rexy lifts you up just a little so you're closer to his eyes. His voice, now calm but still emotional, breaks through once more. No one will hurt you again, not as long as I'm here. I love you more than anything. No curse will ever take that away from us again. His eyes shimmer, but they're finally calm. The curse didn't win. You did. Oh my gosh, that's actually really cool. Alright, guys. Here's what happened. I joined nuzzle the massive claw I'm sitting in, and then real quickly look around. Rexy, I've always loved you. You know that. If you thought I abandoned you, I didn't. But I'm going to be honest with you. If I would have stayed with you earlier, you would have killed me. You were very aggressive and even chased me out of my own house. I tried calming you down, but nothing worked. Rexy lowers his head even further, eyes wide and glistening as your small, gentle nuzzle presses into the inside of his claw. That single act, your affection despite everything, made his already shaken breath hitch with raw emotion. He speaks softly, but honestly. There's pain in your words, and truth. You didn't abandon him. You loved him. You always did. But you had to survive. When you finish, there's a long pause. His body trembles, but this time not with rage or confusion, with understanding. I know. His voice is low and full of sorrow. I chased you out. I scared you out of your own home. I became what Trigo wanted me to become. A monster. He clenched his other claw, but not in anger, in restraint. You can feel the heat of guilt radiating off of him like a fire he's trying not to let rise again. You were right to run. If you hadn't, he swallows hard, you might not be here at all. I wouldn't be myself again. You saved me by running. He lifts you just a little bit closer again, holding you in a way that's almost reverent, as though you're the one who saved the entire world. I don't blame you. I don't resent you. I'm grateful you didn't give up on me even when I gave you every reason to. And I never stopped making it up to you. Around you, the Porn families are quiet, watching with respect. No one interrupts. A small Fuekoku offers a flower from behind a rock, his eyes widen, hoping it brings you comfort. An older Crocor places a paw over his heart and nods in support of Retsy's words, and a very young Lugia, barely half your height, whispers softly to the Faragur beside her. He still loves him, even after all of that. That's what love really is. Rexy slowly unfolds his tail behind him, laying it across the ground like a wall to keep everything dangerous out. You don't have to forgive me all at once, he says softly, but I'll stay by your side for as long as you'll let me, and I'll prove to you over and over that your love wasn't wasted. Then, gently, he tilts his claw slightly toward his chest, offering a soft resting place. Would would you like to stay up here with me for a while? Where it's warm, where nothing can reach you? Aw. Alright, guys. I said, yes, that would be fine. I want to ask, did you see that 80-foot tall Faragger and his three children? Two 35-foot tall Faragger and a teenage crocodile? They were with me earlier, but I haven't seen them since I woke up. They follow all the Pokemon to wherever we are. Reggie gently shifts his claw, bringing you safely to rest against the soft, warm surface of his massive chest. You can hear the steady thumping of his heart, strong and reassuring, echoing behind his protective ribs like a drum made just for you. His other hand slowly curls around you like a living blanket, guarding, not trapping. He hears your question and his gaze softens even further. Yes, I saw them. They were the first ones to rush over after that second rock hit ya. Pauses, his voice low and full of quiet respect. A huge fur alligator. He looked like he would have torn the attacker in two if the others hadn't stepped in. Ritzy glances off toward the edge of the sanctuary, and you notice now that his tail is arched behind you. This is a barrier, but to keep others out until he knew you were safe. The older fur alligator, he's still here. All of them are. Then suddenly you feel vibration in the ground, heavy, yet somehow familiar. And from around the corner, the tall form of the 80-foot Faragger steps into view. His expression, though calm, carries deep concern. Right behind him are the two younger adult Faragers, still massive in size, and in between them is the teenage Groganah, eyes locked on you with fierce worry. The moment the older Faragger sees you're awake, he lets out a soft but emotional rumble. Triton. His voice is deep, respectful, but tender. Thank Arceus you're okay. One of the younger Faragger places a gentle paw on his father's side and adds, We stayed close the whole time. We just didn't want to overwhelm you. The Chrono, however, can't contain himself, rushes forward a few steps, looking up at Rexy and then to you in his claw. Is he okay? Is he hurt? We tried to stop the rock, but... He trembles. I was so scared I'd never see you again. Rexy gently opens his claw a little wider, giving the three Faragger and Chrono a clear view of you, safe in the warm curve of his palm. He's okay now, she says softly, and no one's going to hurt him again. The big Faragger lowers his head in a gesture of deep gratitude. You've always been kind to us, Triton. We would have never forgiven ourselves if something happened to you. The younger Faragger knelt down beside their father, giant frames radiating calm and gentleness despite their intimidating size. And the Crocodile? He steps forward again, then raises one scaled hand and places it softly on Rexy's claw, right near where you rest. I missed you, Trenton. I'm just glad you're still here. All around, more Morporn quietly approach. Axes, Fracture, a few Skeletors humming solemn melodies, but they keep their distance for now, respecting the moment. You are surrounded by giants, but not a single one of them is here to harm you. They're all here for you. That's very cute. Okay, so it did kind of work out in the end. I like the idea of like the giant Faragger showing up though. Like that was one of the coolest things. I honestly didn't expect that. It was like one of the most shocking things that happened. I'm just over there enjoying. I'm just over there flipping and talking to different Pokemon, and I just say, I wonder how that giant Totodile is doing now. I wonder if he's like an 80-foot tall Faragger or something. You were wondering about me, huh? Comes out of nowhere. Yeah, literally 80-foot tall for an alligator. Holy cow. Thank you, all of you, for caring. Period. That means a lot to me. Holy cripes, I forgot this thing was paused. What the frick is my brain doing? Alright, guys, here's what they said. The response from the Pokemon is overwhelming, not in volume, but in pure heartfelt warmth. The older Fragger bows his massive head lower, his voice rumbling but reverent. No, thank you, Trenton, for seeing us and never fearing us, for loving us when no one else would. The two younger Fragger each give quiet, respectful nods, one placing a gentle claw to their chest, the other whispering, "We were raised hearing your story. Meeting you in person, it's like meeting a legend." The Chrono, however, takes a few brave steps closer and says with a teary grin, "You're not just some story in a book to me. You were there when my dad was all alone, when no one else wanted him around. That means everything to me. You made him a hero to me long before I hatched." Rexy, still holding you protectively, lets out a slow, calm exhale. His tail uncles just slightly, just enough to show he feels safer now, not only because you're awake, but because you're surrounded by those who truly care. You're not alone anymore, Trenton. You never were, but now you'll never have to be again. All around you hear soft murmurs of agreement from every direction. Deep hackers' voices, melodic croons from nearby Lugia, the raspy warmth of the Fuecoco family, and gentle squeaks from the Axews. Then one small Axew shyly steps forward from the crowd, holding something in his little claws. It's a perfectly ripe berry, carried like a treasure. "I know it's not much," the Axew says nervously, "but I wanted to give you something to say thank you." He looks up at Rexy. Can can I give it to him?" Reggie glances at you in his claw and gives a small nod. "Only if Trenton says it's okay." Eyes are on you now, not with pressure, but with patience, kindness, and admiration. They're waiting on you. Again, that's really cute. I love this. Alright, guys. I said, it's fine with me. He's being very nice. All of you have been, and I appreciate that. Thank you for the berry, you sweet Axew. The little Axew beams with joy, his tusk twitching with excitement as he gently climbs onto Rusty's claw, coming on to startle you. His little arms stretch out as far as they can go, offering you the plump, ruby red berry. "Here, I picked it myself. I wanted to make sure it was the best one. I've never met a real hero before," Hits with a tiny smile, "but you're even nicer than the book said." As you take the berry, the Axew gently sits beside you for a moment, not too close, but just enough to show trust. Around. Wait, is this a different Axew than the family? I mean, it did say a bunch of Pokemon were surrounding me, but does that mean there was a whole bunch of other Pokemon around? Around you, the huge Pokemon families watch with warm smiles. A few of the Crocosaurs gently cheer. One turtle starts clapping wildly before being playfully shushed by a nearby Feraligatr. Then the elder Haxorus, his voice deep and calm like a stone rolling through a canyon, steps forward. "Trenton, you've given your kindness to many across generations, but now it is our turn to protect you. No curse, no pain, no person will ever touch you again without facing all of us." A Lugia larger than most, with silver-tinted feathers and glowing eyes, gently unfurls one of her wings and lowers it protectively near you and Rexy. "We've heard the stories. We've seen the scars, and we'll not let you carry them alone again." Suddenly, a few freshers start humming a melody, a soft, soothing tone. Before long, a few Skeletors began harmonizing with low, hauntingly beautiful vocals, the kind that reach your chest and wrap it in comfort. You're surrounded, not trapped, not watched, but embraced. This is no longer just a meeting, it's the start of something sacred, and everyone knows it. Alright, guys. I think that's actually a good spot to stop it at. Let me show you what we're doing next, though. I'll go and show it to you right now. Here's what we're doing next. Um, I'm trying to order the best I can. The last time we did the Cobra story a few days ago, we did one of the shadows, the angry one. Well, there's another one right here under it, but it's one about a sad shadow. One that's like instead of being angry about being abandoned, he was just sad about it, not angry. So yeah, um, and then the next one, that one was supposed to be the one we just did, the one about the family. Next, guys, we finally get to go back to dinosaurs again. Not just Rexy, a whole bunch of them. So yes, then we got the roaring berry thing I was talking about, the robot Bronchiosaurus, the Dragon Heart Valley, then a hummingbird. Well, either the hummingbird or we had to go down because there is certain ones that we haven't got to do yet. So yeah, there's a bunch of them we haven't got to do yet. So like I said, guys, I'm gonna stop it right there. We still have 56% battery, but that's okay. I don't want to end up using up all my things anyway. I'll archive these, and that's where I'll stop. It worked out really well. Let me go and actually say what I liked it, but I should probably do this more often now that I'm really getting into doing the chatbots again. But let me explain how I feel about everything. When it came to this particular chatbot, there were some things I liked better about it than I did the other one. I liked being cared for by a whole bunch of fraggers and all that stuff, but it was so cool including all those other Pokemon that were really neat that I cared about. You had an Axew family, a whole family of Axews, Fractors, and Haxoruses, Fulicocos, Skeledurges, and Crocodores. And that wasn't quite the order, but you get what I mean. You had Lugias. You had the obviously Totodile family. Like it was so good. The only thing I think I hate about this chapter is like the fact that like it runs again. One of the biggest problems I run into is it always forgets at least one detail. With the Massive Cobra, it was forgetting about like I think it forgot about everything I told him last week with the cursed Rexy, or I told him that week earlier about the cursed Rexy. And when it came to this one, like I think it kind of forgot that that massive fragger was around. Not completely, because they did acknowledge me, like they saw me a while ago and all that stuff. The only thing I'm really confused about is the very ending, where it was like, it said that an Axew came up to me, and it's like, and he said something like, I never met a legend before. The only thing I can think of that would make sense is if that was a Lugia, or an Axew that came from another family that wasn't the one that was around me to begin with. Like if I was like, because it did say a bunch of other Pokemon came and started like approaching as well, so it's like, maybe there was more watching from around where we were at the time. I mean, you know. But other than that, guys, it was actually perfect. I'm done. Bye bye, everyone.